What's going on, everybody? It's Rocks here, and today I want to give you the cheapest, most basic stream setup that you can use to stream directly from your PlayStation 4. This is a stream setup that I use. I didn't want to put a lot of money into equipment and things like that. This is a good way for me to try out if I even like streaming. You can always upgrade further from this, but this is for my personal situation. The cheapest thing that I found, the easiest setup to get me started right away. You only need a handful of pieces of equipment and you're good to go. Now, of course, with this setup, you're not going to have some of the fancy features like you would have if you were using an OBS. Because you are streaming directly from your PS4 system, but those are things that can come later. Again, this is just a setup to get yourself started, get yourself into streaming, see if you like it, and you can always upgrade from there. I'm going to go through every single piece of equipment that I have, even stuff that you probably already have for yourself, just to make sure you have everything you need to get yourself started. Let's check it out. All right, so the first thing that you're going to need for your setup, kind of self-explanatory, is your PlayStation 4 game system. Again, this setup is only specific for the PlayStation 4 because there is a piece of equipment that only is compatible with the PlayStation 4. Second thing you're going to need is a television, monitor, whatever screen you use to play your games on. I do not have room in my apartment for a full setup at a desk, with monitors and things like that. So I just use my TV. I stream on my TV. It's what I play games on. It works for me. But if you're a monitor person, if you use monitors, perfectly fine. You do what's best for you. The next piece of equipment that you're going to need is the PS4 camera. Now, this cost, I spent $60 on mine. They can probably be had for $40 or $50 if you find a good deal somewhere, but the PS4 camera, and this plugs directly into the back. There is a specific outlet for this in the back of your PlayStation 4. You plug this in, your PlayStation 4 recognizes it immediately, and you're good to go. There's a few things you need to kind of get set up and adjusted, but it works. It also comes with this mount. It is a flexible mount, so you could, if you wanted to, you can mount it to the top of your TV. For me, that doesn't work because I would have to sit really close to my TV, and it's a pretty good size, and I just don't want to sit that close. So instead, what I use is our next piece of equipment is a tripod. Okay, so I got this tripod off of Amazon. I think it only cost me about $20. I'll put a link for it in the description. But all I do is I just set this right on top and it's good to go. I can swivel, I can adjust this in many different ways. The tripod is also adjustable vertically, so I can adjust the height of it to fit wherever I'm sitting and you can see me clearly. Next piece of equipment that you're going to need is a headset with a microphone on it. Okay, the PS4 camera does have a microphone built into it. However, it does pick up a lot of ambient noise. So I found that it didn't sound very good. And it also sounded like I was very far away from it. It wasn't ideal. But if that's all you have to start with, you can use it. It works. However, ideally, a headset. Now, you do not need a $100 headset. Okay, this headset cost me about $16 on Amazon. I can hear the games just fine. People can hear me talking just fine on the streams or in game. It works. $16 is all this costs. You do not need to spend a lot of money and break the bank on a headset or a fancy microphone setup. That is stuff that can come later if streaming is something that you decide that you want to continue on with. All right, so next thing, and this might seem kind of simple, but you're going to need somewhere to sit. Okay, now for me, I used to sit on my couch over here. When I first started streaming, I was sitting on my couch, and what I quickly noticed that is when I was trying to get myself into a good position so that I could be visible on the camera, sitting like that for a couple hours at a time was wrecking my back. It did not feel very good. So what I started doing was bringing my computer chair out from my bedroom, which it takes, just a few seconds to do that. And it makes a world of difference. I can sit up nice and straight. I'm comfortable. My back is supported. I've got a little pad here because the chair is getting worn out. So the pad helps cushion things, cushion my bottom. And it feels so much better. I feel so much better after I get done with a session, and my back doesn't hurt, my butt doesn't hurt. I feel great. So you're gonna need somewhere to sit. Now, the last thing you're going to need is some sort of device to watch yourself stream. And the reason why is you can, first of all, know if there are any issues with your stream, make sure that it's actually playing. And then you can also use this to read the chat. You can recognize new followers, subscribers, whatever setup you have, but you can see all those things happening live. Okay, now there is an option on the PS4 camera for you to see those things on the television screen or your monitor, and I'll show you what that looks like here in just a minute. But having the second device helps so much. I use my laptop. You can use a cell phone, tablet, whatever you have, but just some sort of extra device where you can watch your stream, make sure that everything is good, and then, like I said, read the chat, followers, and things of that nature, so that you don't miss anything important that is happening within your stream. All right, so the last thing that I want to show you is what this actually looks like when you are using the PS4 camera to stream on. So there are a lot of different options that you can play around with, just some basic stuff here. Make this a little bigger. So if I were to stream with the current settings, I've got a thumbnail of myself on the bottom left side of the screen, and then I have the rest of the screen that I can play the game on. Now, I can change some things up here. I can change the position of my thumbnail to be on any corner of the screen. I can change the size of my thumbnail. Usually a medium size is the best. I can flip it, so if I put myself on the right side of the screen, I can flip my image so that I'm still facing the center of that screen. The background, so you can either have a square cutout, you can do a circular cutout, which takes up a little less space. They have this auto cutout, which is actually kind of nice. It's kind of like if you were using a green screen. It follows you around, and it really, I mean, it works out pretty well, actually. Another way to kind of minimize some of the space that you're taking up on your screen. And if you do have a green screen, you can use the chroma key background, and it'll work just fine if you're using a green screen for yourself. But personally, I just use either the square or the circle. There's some other effects you can play with. They kind of make it hard to see yourself, but if that's something that you want to mess around with, you can also change the brightness, the contrast, the transparency, so you can make your image a little bit more transparent if you want to see something on screen that's behind you just a little bit. Maybe it's like a health bar or something like that. Now, another option that I like to toggle depending on the game that I'm playing is display messages to spectators and spectator comments. So when you have this checked off, you can actually see your thumbnail. You can see how many viewers you have. You can see how many comments they have. And then you can also see the comments live as they come through your chat. So that makes it a lot easier. When a comment does come through, you don't have to keep looking at your device and read and respond to those comments. They're right there on the screen. Now, it does take up a little bit of your screen real estate, but for most games, I don't really mind that. And I'll just leave this on the screen so everything is easy for me to see. If you do not have this feature on, it will actually have like a little notification icon that'll pop up on the top right that'll tell you that there's a new viewer or there's a new comment. So you do have some sort of notice that, oh, there's something you need to look at and maybe potentially respond to. But I like having this on for most games just because it's just the easiest thing for me. But you can use whatever works best for you. And then when I'm streaming, okay, I've got it all pulled up on my laptop here. I'm currently offline, but if I were streaming, my stream would be here. I have follower lists, so when people follow, it'll show up here. And then when I do have messages and comments, they will show up right here, and I can just quickly take a look at those and respond as needed. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that video, and I hope it was helpful for you. And hopefully it will get you started on your streaming journey if you're streaming from the PlayStation 4 system. If you have any questions about any of the equipment, any of the setup, or just how to get things set up on the system itself, feel free to leave that in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to help you out. And if you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel. It's free to do. It helps the channel grow and allows me to continue
making more content for you. This is Styran Rocks, and we'll see you next time.